The reason you find yourself here today is that your inner being requires to hear something that hasn't reached you by chance. There exist pivotal moments in life when your heart wavers and fills with uncertainty, yet somewhere deep within, in that hidden place where your truth resides, you already possess the absolute answer. This very moment represents one of those instances. What you are about to receive is not merely dry information or hollow words. It is a direct, energetic response to what you have been silently requesting from the universe, in the most remote corners of your thoughts for days, perhaps even weeks. Today you will touch the point where your deepest intuition finally intersects with the reality you have long awaited. I understand that you sense a connection beyond logic and rational explanations. You have experienced a magnetic pull that cannot be easily defined through conventional terms, and an unshakable bond with a particular person. Sometimes, during your most vulnerable moments, you thought all of this might be a fleeting illusion or a fantasy constructed to escape loneliness. But today I want to tell you something definite. Do not hesitate at all. You felt that electric vibration passing through your body and your deepest cells when you think of this love, this person. This is a sense of inexplicable familiarity. However, this situation is not a product of imagination, not a coincidence, absolutely not, and certainly not a lie you tell yourself. There are clear, profound, and consistent signals pointing to that truth which has emerged in your life and which you dare not fully accept because you fear the pain. Today you will finally understand why this person truly loves you, even if their current behavior suggests otherwise, and why your doubts will soon dissolve in the face of the undeniable evidence within your own soul. The fact that you have recently felt a strange emptiness in your chest, or that this person has become quieter, colder, or more distant, does not change reality. I want you to know that this silence is a very important part of the message. Even though it feels painful and contradictory right now, when the universe confirms the connection between two souls, it does so in a way that your inner being recognizes long before your mind can grasp it. This is why you are here, because you needed that sacred confirmation that vibrates at the same frequency as your soul. If you feel this resonance, write _0_ in the comments. Sometimes we desperately try to explain emotions that were never meant to be understood by the intellect, emotions that should be experienced at a higher level of consciousness. What you are experiencing right now is not confusion or an unhealthy fixation. It is a necessary process that someone destined to experience a love that goes beyond the ordinary and transcends the boundaries of conventional and superficial relationships must undergo. You are witnessing the beginning of a deep recognition between two souls that chose each other on an immaterial level, long before becoming aware of physical existence. Your doubts do not stem from a lack of love coming from this person. They are fed by your own energetic wounds from the past that have not healed in time. When someone with true love enters your life with an energy that throws you off balance and approaches you with that gaze that seems to bare your soul without touching your body, your old defense systems automatically react. The soul recognizes the other instantly, knowing that the one before it is their own counterpart and someone crucial for their evolution. However, the mind, programmed to avoid pain, weaves protective walls of doubt and denial. This is why you often lie awake in the middle of the night, wondering whether this love is real or whether the other person feels the same thing. Even when you try to distance yourself emotionally, even when you decide to close the door, an invisible, gentle yet unshakable force pulls you back again. This thing that keeps you from separating forever is not emotional dependency. It is the shared vibration of two souls. The universe has silently aligned everything, without allowing for logical explanations. You frequently asked for a clear sign, and in fact, you received many signs, but sometimes they seemed too subtle to be taken seriously. Those glances that were missed when they became too obvious. Those messages that seemed coincidental, but carried a different tone were actually evidence. True love, born from a spiritual connection, does not always manifest itself first with grand words. It is often expressed through meaningful silences that weigh more heavily than quote one. The question of why you feel so much confusion, despite your soul's recognition, leads us directly to humanity's oldest battleground, the conflict between the ego's limited logic and the true self's boundless wisdom. This chaos is the result of your mind encountering a magnitude it cannot categorize. Your ego is built from fear, old pains, and defense mechanisms, and follows a single rule: to protect you from risk. Because true love, that pure feeling of affection that comes from the essence, requires you to emotionally strip yourself and become vulnerable. Your ego immediately perceives a threat. Your ego, which carries the traces of past wounds, cries out, quote 2. From this day forward, you must learn to distinguish the ego's anxious noise from the quiet and steady whisper of your intuition. The ego's doubts always carry the energy of urgency, lack, and fear. The compulsion to constantly check your phone, to seek proof to feel secure, is entirely ego-driven. The voice of your intuition and the wisdom of your soul are the exact opposite. They give a feeling of deep peace and quiet certainty. Trust that calm reality that whispers, quote 3, even in the midst of doubt. If you choose to release doubt and select trust, write, quote 4 in the comments. This internal battle is actually your greatest task. If you have been betrayed before, your ego automatically projects that old pain onto the present. No matter how pure the connection is, it believes the other side will inflict the same pain. So you are actually doubting, not the other person's love, but your own ability to carry a love of this magnitude without being broken. The universe placed you before this magnetic connection, precisely so you could confront these deep-rooted fears. This love is here to prepare you for a higher level of consciousness, for a level of abundance where you will not settle for emotional crumbs. If the souls know the truth so clearly, why is the other person acting so silent or distant? The answer lies hidden in that deep dynamic created by the collision of two such intense energies, that is, in the dance of twin flames. This person is not just your partner, but your purest and most powerful mirror. Their entrance into your life activated whatever has not yet been healed on both sides. This connection is so pure that it touches the most sensitive layers of your unresolved wounds. For the human mind accustomed to control, this situation is frightening. The distance is not rejection, but a self-protection mechanism against the intensity that your presence triggers in the other person's heart. The person who flees is usually not fleeing from you, but from themselves and from the deep emotion you awaken in them. The fear of not being enough and the anxiety of losing control drive them to silence and hesitation. Your role, however, is generally to be the pursuer on an energetic level. When you feel the distance, your ego reacts with panic. Your impulse is to make contact, to explain, to prove. But this chase and flight pattern is cyclical. The more energy you expend, the more the other person's impulse turns to escape. Here, one of the most powerful spiritual laws comes into play, the law of detachment. The universe wants you to use this stage to center yourself. The fleeing person can only return to you when they sense that you do not need them to be happy and whole. As long as you chase their energy, they will flee. But when you stop and focus on your own light, the pressure lifts, and that inevitable return begins. This temporary separation is not a punishment. It is the universe's greatest energetic harmony, offered so that each of you can heal individually. The universe sends its confirmations not only through words, but through synchronicities and telepathic signals. When they are with you or thinking of you, the other person experiences a peace they cannot find anywhere else, or a restlessness they can barely control. Pay attention to subtle details, their eyes lingering on your face for an extra second, or unconsciously searching for you with their gaze in a crowd, are actually signals from the soul. If you have noticed these signs, write quote 5 in the comments. The clearest evidence of this connection is pure emotional telepathy. If you notice the energy in the room suddenly changing, if you feel an unexplained warmth or pressure in your chest, this is the emotional echo of the other person at that moment. Your souls are vibrating at the same rhythm, and energy knows no distance. The connection at the dream level is also one of the strongest confirmations. Those intense dreams from which you wake, feeling as if you truly spent time with them, are not fantasy. When in the dream state, the ego's protective mechanisms are disabled, and souls can meet freely. Suddenly waking at mirror times like 1:11, 3:33, or 4:44, or starting the day with a clear thought about that person, is also not random. This is confirmation that the other person is thinking of you intensely at that moment, and that their energetic impulse has awakened your soul enough to perceive it. You are not chasing anyone. You are simply vibrating at the same frequency as the other half of your energy. Doubt and fear are energetic blockages. Therefore, doubt must be replaced by trust. You must use your own power to consciously shape this dynamic. The moment you tell the universe, "I understand the message, I trust the process," your heart begins to receive everything that appeared blocked. Release control over when and how this person will return to you. Seal this sentence with faith. I now accept and trust the universe's alignment. With this declaration, you free the connection from pressure and open the door for natural flow. The universe is a perfect architect. It would never allow a union this important to occur at a moment of weakness or immaturity. View this period of distance as a process of polishing two mirrors. Both souls are being purified separately so that their shared reflection will be pure and clear. As you learn to be your own light, you are transitioning from the frequency of neediness to the frequency of a love magnet. The person who returns to you will not be that cowardly version who left you. When both souls complete the circle of healing, your paths will intersect again effortlessly. At that moment, you will understand why all this silence and distance were necessary for a connection born not from need, but from free choice. What appears as separation now is actually the balance between divine patience and perfect timing. At the moment you least expect it, the universe will prove to you that love never disappeared, but only transformed and returned in a deeper and more lasting way. You will no longer need to search for signs, because the reality you live will itself become the greatest sign. Remember to stay subscribed to receive more in-depth content about spiritual awakening and subconscious transformation. Keep in mind that true love does not come just to make you happy, but to make you yourself. Until we discuss in the next piece how to maintain this energy steady, remain aware of your own inner certainty and your soul's unwavering vibration. To seal this message, write "I accept" in the comments.